Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Lizzie. It's 2022! Happy New Year! I hope you all had a lovely festive season and you managed to spend some time with your loved ones. I was lucky enough to not be stricken down with COVID over the Christmas period, so I was able to spend Christmas with my family, which was so lovely. Today I decided that I wanted to make a video to show you guys the sewing related Christmas presents that I received this year. So, first things first, I got two sewing patterns, paper patterns, because I am firmly on the team of paper patterns and team trace, so I like to get the proper pattern so I don't have to bother with cutting and sticking. I can trace off the size that I want. I've then got the original pattern intact. That's what I like to do. And I received two sewing patterns. We do Christmas lists in our family, so I'm lucky enough to be able to give a list of hints and tips of things I might like to my family, and they came through with the goods and bought me some lovely things. The first pattern that I had on my Christmas list this year was the Marlowe sweater, or in the UK we would call this a cardigan rather than a sweater, but the Marlowe sweater, which is a true bias pattern. It's a cardigan and it's got a cropped version as well as a slightly longer version that I think would be sort of hip length maybe. The longer version has a couple of patch pockets on the front, and I just think it's going to be the perfect pattern for a nice cozy cardigan that I can throw on over jeans, probably also throw on over other lighter weight jumpers because I'm always cold and I like to wear lots of layers. I actually already have fabrics in mind for this. Let me just bend down and get them. I bought these fabrics a few weeks, I think back in end of November, beginning of December maybe, I can't remember now, end of November, and they are wool fabrics. What I really like about this pattern is that you can make it with stretch and non-stretch fabrics. You just need to make sure that you use stretch fabric for the bindings. So I've ordered some sweater knit to use as the bindings. The first fabric is this navy blue and red check. It probably is coming through quite dark on camera, but it is blue rather than black. And I also have this lovely greeny teal one. I've got quite a bit of these fabrics because I can't quite decide if I want to make a cropped version or probably lengthen it. I'm quite tempted to make quite long versions that would actually cover my bum, because when I'm just slouching around the house I like to wear leggings. But anyway, these are the fabrics. I bought these from Dalston Mill Fabrics in London, and yeah, they are going to be a true bias Marlowe sweater. The next sewing pattern that I received is a deer and doe pattern. I wasn't familiar with this pattern. It was quite a recent discovery. This is the, oh no, I don't know how to pronounce it. How do you even say it? Oh, Zephyr. I couldn't even read it across the front there. This is the Zephyr robe dress. And it's from Deer and Doe. It's got three versions, I guess. Four versions. It's basically got a high-necked dress, a V-neck dress, and you can also do it as separates, like a crop top and a skirt. And it's kind of like a kick and flare type style dress, so it goes in at the waist and then it's got, I think, like a partial circle skirt on it. The reason I really like the look of this pattern is because it's designed for knit fabrics, and I've had this fabric in my stash for years and I haven't known what to make with it. I try not to do that anymore. I'm now in the habit of only really buying fabrics if I know what I would want to make with them, but I didn't do this with this fabric. This is a navy blue scuba fabric that I got from Fabric Godmother years ago, and it is going to be a Zephyr dress, and I think it's going to be a really versatile kind of fit and flare skater style dress. But I want to make it specifically probably slightly roomier than usual because I want to be able to wear blouses underneath and make it like a smart preppy sort of look for work. So if I wear this navy blue skater dress, probably the high necked version, because then I could wear with like a collared shirt, so the collar comes out the top of the dress. It's a sleeveless dress, but then the blouse sleeves or the shirt sleeves could come out underneath. I think that would be a really fun look that I would really enjoy wearing to work, so that's the plan for this. The next bits and pieces that I got are all kind of haberdashery sort of items, I guess, or sewing accessories. The first thing I got is a mini rotary cutter. Now this is a 28mm blade, and I was after a smaller rotary cutter because I have an ordinary size rotary cutter, which I love. It is my preferred way of cutting out fabric is with pattern weights, rotary cutter. I've got two big cutting mats that I can put side by side and I extend my dining table. It works really well for me. But sometimes when you've got slightly curvier pattern pieces, I find it quite hard to get in the curves neatly with my kind of ordinary size rotary cutter. So having a smaller rotary cutter will be really, really helpful. For example, the curves of armholes I sometimes find quite hard to curve round nicely with my ordinary rotary cutter. And I also have ambitions to do more lingerie sewing this year. Whether that will happen or not, or we'll see, but a smaller size rotary cutter will be really useful for that as well, because the pattern pieces are just smaller and more intricate, so it's just useful to have a smaller rotary cutter. By the way, I will put links to everything in the description box below if you happen to be after finding out where you can buy these things. The next gift is one that I've already used to test it out, and I think it's a game changer. This is a set, I'll put a picture in if you can't see this very easily, but this is a set of bias tape makers. I avoid bias tape like the plague because it can be quite expensive to buy it, and also I find just a bit of a pain to buy because I don't really have the space or the budget to just invest in a load of different colour bias tapes just in case, but then it's a bit of an annoying extra thing to buy when you're planning a project. So I want to be able to make my own bias tape, but making it yourself is such a pain because you have to cutting the strips, I mean that's just, you have to do that. But folding it all in and pressing it is such a pain, but these things take all that headache out of the pressing process because you basically just thread your strips of fabric through these little things, and you pin the strip onto your ironing board with this little device halfway through, like at the end, and then you drag it down. So this device folds all the edges in and you press it with your iron as you drag this little device. I hope that was a relatively good description. It's quite hard to describe it without showing you. But basically you feed your strip of fabric through there, pull this along, and you kind of chase it with your iron. I tested it and it was pretty miraculous. So this is going to be really exciting to have a set of these. I've got a set that's in 4 different sizes, so it makes bias tape that's 6mm, 12mm, 18mm and 25mm. And now I've got no excuse not to make lovely matching bias tape with my fabric scraps to use for my projects. Brilliant. The final thing to show you is this. I am so excited by this. In fact, it's actually 2 things, so I'll get it out and show you in a second. But this is it's from Prim, and it's called Ironing Rulers General Purpose. So this is what the packet looks like. But if I get this out, I will show you. Now, one of the things that I find really kind of fiddly and a bit tricky sometimes with sewing is pressing edges up accurately and nicely. So for example, when I'm hemming, it's just such a pain. I'd like to use steam on my iron, but when I've got a sewing gauge, which I love using, but I don't quite have enough hands to hold my iron on the fabric, fold the fabric over, measure it with my sewing gauge and press it without kind of burning my fingers or having to put the iron up and pick everything up and down loads of times. So I was researching online and I wasn't. I saw these on Guthrie and Garney's Instagram page, or similar. I think it might be a different brand actually, the ones that she sells, but I saw something similar and so I got Googling. You can iron this. So the idea, it's like a ruler, so it's got measurements. I bought one that's in centimetres, but you can get them in inches as well. There's 2 sizes, a big one and a small one. So basically, if I was hemming a piece of fabric, I could lay this on my ironing board. I could fold the edge of the fabric up so that it's in line with the right measurement, and then I can press on top of this. It won't melt it, it's heat resistant. I just think it's so clever. And another thing to note is that there are actually little holes. They're not currently holes because I think you have to poke the little bits out. But basically on each of these measuring lines, there's little holes. So you could actually use this to put markings on your fabric at a certain measurement, or put markings on your pattern pieces, because you can like poke your pen through the little holes, or your chalk pen or whatever. And there's a smaller one as well if you're doing maybe a cuff or something more fiddly. I'm just so excited to use these because I think it is going to make it so much easier to press edges and hems accurately but more quickly. That's the idea, because my current system works really well with my iron and my steamy iron and my seam gauge, but it's just too fiddly. I can't do it all at once. I've only got 2 hands, so it's slow, it takes ages. These are gonna make it much quicker and easier, I think. The last sewing related gift that I wanted to tell you about is unfortunately one that I can't show you right now because I'm in the process of sending it back and changing it for a different pair. So I wanted a new pair of dressmaking scissors because the pair that I've had is a pair that I was gifted by my nanny years and years and years ago, and my dad and I had a bit of an accident with them when we were trying to sharpen them, and we've kind of messed them up. It seems beyond repair. They're completely blunt, they're dead, they don't seem to be sharpenable. So I need a new pair of dressmaking scissors, and I did the research, chose a pair that I thought were going to be really great, put them on my Christmas list. My mum and dad were kind enough to buy them for me for Christmas, but unfortunately I've tested them out and they're not sharp. They don't cut nicely all the way to the tip. At the tip there's a blunt bit that doesn't cut nicely. So I'm getting in touch with the company they came from to send them back or figure out what to do. I think I'm gonna just send them back completely rather than ask for a new pair of the same brand, but I'm not going to tell you which brand it was because I don't think it's necessarily a fair reflection of that brand. I probably just got unlucky with just one dodgy pair. But it means I'm a bit back to the drawing board with exchanging these scissors for different ones. So can you please let me know if you have any recommendations for really good quality dressmaking scissor brands? I really would like to get a pair that are going to, you know, stand the test of time and be a pair that I can use for years and years and years. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on the best dressmaking scissors. And that's it. Those are the lovely sewing related Christmas gifts that I received this year. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I got. It's always, I think it's nice anyway to have a bit of a nose, and I'm always curious to see what other sewing bits and bobs people have got as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!